I don't know about you guys, but the Christmas sales, at least in my town, for video games were absolutely atrocious. We're talking CEX demanding full price for a used copy of Battlefield 1. We're talking like 35 quid for a game that came out 6 months ago as well, like Far Cry Primal. So I was like, you know what, just going to play me backlog. And that's what I proceeded to do. I went through things like Fallout 4, Destiny, World of Tanks, and the topic of this video for today, War Thunder. Now, today I'm going to talk about how absolutely bullshit the American rank 4 grind is for War Thunder. I'm probably going to do another one for their tier 3. Their rank 3 is some of the worst in the game. But today we're going to focus specifically on 3 tanks that use the 90mm gun with m82 shot. The t25, the m26, and the m36. Now, all 3 of these tanks are, well, on paper they should be pretty good. They have the m82 shot with decent penetration and decent enough mobility, except for the Pershing. That's a heavy tank in the guise of a medium tank. It's just because of the American designation with guns is why that sits like that. But either way, I decided, you know what, I'm going to grind these out for event purposes. You know, my Battle of the Rhine and all that shit. You know, I want to be in that Pershing and fight some Panthers. And I'm not going to lie, it was a pretty unpleasant experience. It was like pulling out your teeth with knitting needles. It's impractical, you're hurting yourself more than you need to, and in the long run, you're probably going to die a septic shock. Now you're like, oh, Nathan, but the M82 shot's a good round. Oh, it is a good round. On the ones with higher muzzle velocities, like, you know, the Super Pershing, or the... what's it called? The one in the premium Pershing, I think it's the Pershing E1, something like that. Yeah, it's a good gun there, but that's because it has the penetration. The main issue with these 3 tanks is the BR compression. Because the way the game sort of feels like it's going to do is it's going to down tier you every fucking time with, you know, King Tigers. So every time you play a game, you're going to be against King Tigers if you're fighting Germany. And you're like, oh, but King Tigers are, you know, relatively easy to kill. Like, no, King Tigers are some of the most bullshit tanks in the game. They're overpowered if they get down tiered. There's no two ways around it. At least the Henschel model. And you can't penetrate them frontally with the M82 shot, which is horrible, because it means you're forced to use APCR, which is, yeah, it's like shooting knitted needles. The shot goes in, you kill, like, hands, and then, like, then he absorbs a fucking shell going at, like, fucking 1,000 meters a second or some shit. And then the guy behind him's like, oh, shit, Hans is dead. Better chuck his carcass out and, you know, replace him. And rinse and repeat. So it takes you multiple shots to kill the King Tiger. And you're like, oh, well, does it take the King Tiger multiple shots to kill you? Fuck no. The King Tiger can one-shot you through the frontal plate. Like, every single one of these tanks can be one-shot through the frontal plate by basically everything. Unless, you know, you're talking Japanese tanks. Because, let's be honest, most of them lack, in one department, penetration, but they make up for explosive filler. And you're like, well, just flank and spank, Nathan. Well, you fucking can't. These tanks aren't as mobile as the Panthers. So when you start flanking, you get spanked by the Panthers. Because they flank and spanked you. And the thing that infuriates me the most is the simple fact that if I was playing against Russia, I would be doing better. Because I can one-shot the T-34s, the IS-2. Well, the IS-2 early, not the 44. You gotta two-shot that bitch or side-flank it. You know, get a shot in the turret, you're good. And, it enrages me. What enrages me further is they keep down-tiering the T25 and leaving the M36 where it is. It's worse in every way. It's basically a fucking Sherman with less armor. And it's like, you just sit there, it's like, yeah. If anyone sees you, you might as well just pull out your lucky penknife and slit your own throat. It's quicker. Instead of just seeing the nuclear explosion that is any shell making contact with your chassis. But it's the matter of the thing. You are up-tiered nearly every time to fight Henschel King Tigers, which you cannot deal with. You can't flank and spank them, because half the maps force you into corridors of death. I'm looking at you, Cologne. And yeah, all I know about Cologne is at least I've got my pants on, because there's a high chance I'm going to be raped. That's all I'm going to say. Is it just me? Am I the only one who fucking sees this? Like, are any of these 90mm guns on the American tree, other than the Super Hellcat, Oh, fucking hell, yeah. I bought the vehicle pack, the one that was on like 70% discount, because I basically had like 4 tanks missing off it, which was the IS-2, the T-34-85, the T-29, and the King Tiger Preem. So I was like, you might as well buy that, because I'm going to use the fuck out of that King Tiger Premium. Because if it's as good as it seems that when I'm playing these American guys, I'm going to use it to grind out the actual King Tigers and just club everything. So what I've seen... So basically, immediately after that, with the gold I got from the packs, I bought the Super Hellcat. And I'm going to fucking not going to lie to you. The American tree at that bracket suddenly becomes competitive when you buy 2 premiums. Because the T-29 has a higher velocity gun, so the M82 shot can penetrate the King Tiger frontally. And the M18 has the mobility to flank and spank. So basically, to play Tier 4 Americans competitively, you need to spend at least $50. Yeah, fuck you, Gaijin. Fuck you. Am I the only one who's seen this? Like, seriously. Like, comment, do all that shit down below. I want to know, am I the only one who thinks these tanks are greatly over-tiered? Keep on gaming and have a good one.